Hello everybody, Roy Awesome here, and I am doing a series of videos on this is a part 2 of a series of videos on Amerish, the new Amerish revamp. It is mostly on test server right now. It is slightly unfinished, but it is mostly here. And it will be released next week. So I'm going through and analyzing every single base, and talking about them. The part 1 of this video featured every base along the top of the map. Featured Jagged Lance, Hidden Ridge, Sungray Plaza, Sungray Power Hub, Sungray West Gate, NC Arsenal, Moss Ravine, North Grove Post, Lithcorp Fortress, and Stone Ridge Reserve. I'm going to continue on from here, and I'm going to move on to the new Lithcorp Secure Mine. Now, I mentioned in part 1 that there's one thing I really noticed about this the terrain, and that is, this map, and that is, it seems that there's a huge quality difference between some of these bases. Like, they stopped working on Amerish for some time, and they came back and had a whole bunch of new ideas, and really good ideas, and worked on those instead. So, some of these bases are less optimal. Some of them are just average, to where others are really, 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 really good. So, that's one thing I've noticed. So, Lithcorp Secure Mine. Lithcorp Secure Mine in the current version on live is a very... I hate this base. This base is probably one of the worst bases in Planetside 2, just because of how easily exploitable it is and how easily campable it is from this ridgetop. Now, they fixed that, which is probably my best one of my favorite things about this base right now, but I still don't like this base very much. They fixed the camping problem by adding a whole bunch of new rocks and stuff, and making the terrain completely impassable from the side, or from the Ikanam side of this base. So you really can't get up here anymore, and it makes this base a lot more interesting to fight in, which is nice. That was a huge problem in the old Lithcorp Secure Mine. They added another point, D point, and they moved the spawn room. So they added A point down there, B is on that thing right there, C is back here, and D is over there. Now, the C point here, they moved the spawn room to the back behind this entire construction over here, and they put the spawn room in a really interesting spot, one of which I actually have never seen before. They put the spawn room right here, in the back of the base. And as you can see, if you look up here, there's a lot more rocks up here, so it's very difficult to spawn camp this. Now, this base is incredibly difficult to spawn camp, but there's a big problem with this, and that is the teleporter room for this is right here. And that shield shouldn't be there. It's actually legitimately right there. It's on the other side of this building. Which means C is uncappable by the attackers. It's right there. You cannot capture C point. It's not going to be possible. The teleporter is right here. You just cut them off. You come in right behind them. It's ridiculous. How are you supposed to capture C point? Don't understand. The only way you're going to get C here is if you completely overpopulate this base and there's nobody defending it. If there's somebody defending it, C is uncappable. Straight up. Other than that, it's exactly the same base as before. I'm not going to waste a lot of time on it. Let me get back to my scythe. I'm trying to keep each base under 5 minutes analyzed, because my scythe times out after a while, but as you probably witnessed in part 1, I'm horrible at that. They added new attack paths up right there, which is nice, because this didn't have any attack paths up, but in general, it's the same base that it was before. Aside from fixing the horrible spawn camping problems on the top, that was really all they needed to do to fix this base, is fix those really bad spawn camping problems. And here's an overview of the entire base. Cool, moving on. This is the new Lithcorp Secure Mine. It's a little bit more like a secured mine. Again, this base is right next to the warp gate up here. So I don't think this base will see a lot of action. So its level design isn't that important, I feel. Just because it's not a very important base in the grand scheme of things. Now, if they added in lattice and they added in continent metagame, and you could actually capture warp gates, then I'd probably have more of an issue with these things. But because it's right next to a warp gate, you're probably not going to see any action here very often. It'll be few and far between. Lithcorp Secure Mine is a little bit of a mine. It has some great Sundar parking spots over here, center parking spots over there, center parking spots over there. The road drives right through it. It's got some walls. I feel like the walls are a little like the Esamir walls. This base seems older than the rest because the Esamir walls are in full force. And it's got a little bit of an underground spot. I'm not really going to spoil it all too much, but it does have a little bit of an underground feature because it is a secure mine after all. I just have to find it. I don't remember where it is, but there is a little bit of an underground feature here. It's not very big. It's just like you walk up some stairs underground. So that's pretty much that. It's a very, very standard base. I can just cover this with an overview. Again, as I said in part 1, there's a lot of bases that can be classified as thoroughly average, and this is one of them. This is a thoroughly average base. Oh, there's the underground feature right there. It literally just walks up to some stairs. So yeah, Lithcorp, secure mine. Or deserted mine shaft, sorry. Deserted mine shaft. Move over to the Ikanam bases. Now, Ikanam got completely changed. It used to have 4 adjacent bases, 4 satellite bases. Now it only has 3. The first one is Ikanam Motor Pool. Ikanam Motor Pool is another very standard average base. The only thing I have an issue with is the teleporter room is so... It adds in a little bit more area, but you can still get above here from the back here and spawn camp them completely by getting above the spawn rooms. So the spawn room, getting above the spawn room is an issue for me. I would like to see the spawn room move to a different spot, not right up along this edge. You can keep the teleporter where it is, but I'd like to see the spawn room move to a better spot, since you have to go through the spawn room in order to get to the point. But other than that, it's a very average base. Then we have Ikanam Garrison over here, or Ikanam Barracks. Or Garrison, which is actually really cool. I'm actually going to get out for this one, because I didn't get out for the last one. Now, this base is very, very new. Very, very cool. Crap. I landed badly. That's unfortunate. That's going to put time on this video. I'm going to respawn and grab a new vehicle. Yeah, I'm doing all this live. I don't like recording videos and editing them, mostly because I'm awful at it. So, my apologies. Same reason why the sound is in my background. I can't seem to fix that. So just an issue. I also noticed there's an issue with stretching along the edge of the map. I don't know if it's a bug in PTS or if it's actually always like that, but okay, so Ikanam Garrison. So this is actually one of my favorite adjacent bases in the live version of this map. My issue with it is that the spawn room, again, you have to go through the spawn rooms to get to the points. I don't like that. I think that that is kind of silly. So that teleporter room being there is not a good thing, because you have to go through it in order to get to the point. This does feature an underground feature that is very cool. It's very, 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 very Planetside 1 style. With underground tunnels and stuff, and stairs up and in and out. You attack. There's little these bridges are new. I think they're actually a combination of different props, but there's some cool new bridges around for parking Sunderers over here. Park a Sunder over here. Walk through this really cool little bridge. Of course, having a scat max right here will completely destroy anybody coming across, but that's why you have. That's why there's kind of cover-ish. Sounds like glass was breaking there, which is weird. Climb up here. There's these cool bridges again. And there's the bridge down with the underground feature. Hopping out of the window. So like yellowing out windows. Now I don't actually know where the spawn room is. I think that was the spawn room. Oh, the spawn room's over there. So the spawn room is over here. Now again, as I said, you have to come through the spawn room to get to the point. And that's because you have to like drive down this road to get in here. And I don't like that. There's a base on Indar, one of the Zervan satellites. It's very bad because of that. Very, very, very bad. You have to actually legitimately drive through the spawn room. So here's the spawn room. As you can see, you actually have to legitimately drive through the spawn room over here. And that's just not good. You just set up a spawn camp for this. That needs to be fixed. You literally set up a spawn camp before you even get to the point. Like, what is the point? Now, of course, there is this teleporter here that allows you to get around it. But that's just still, it's ridiculous how easy it is to spawn camp these bases. So this one has a huge issue with spawn camping. It's just not good to have an issue like that going in. It's gonna be really not fun to play. To have to like drive underneath that thing. I guess you don't have to drive underneath that thing. Now that I'm following that, but it is there. So again, overview of the garrison. And the road leads to, which I'm guessing is a lot of leads to the new Lithcorp Fortress. So over here we have a new base, the Auger. This base is kind of a cool theme. It's a drilling machine that is sitting over a gigantic pit. Obviously it was drilling. I wish it had an effect, like an actual drilling effect when it was secure or something. So you could like look over here. It's just fun to like look down into the pit. I've actually jumped down there. There's no kill field in the pit. SOE, please add a kill field there, so that way you die. Because otherwise you just get stuck down there. It's really funny. Other than that, there's a couple of attack paths up. Spawn room is over there. The teleporter room is nearby. Don't actually know where it is. Woo, almost fell in. Oh yeah, you can actually walk down here. Which is kind of a cool little thing. The Sunder Garage is across the road, so be careful getting run over by friendly vehicles. Or hostile vehicles. Just watch out for vehicles when crossing the road. And there's a lot of stairs at this base. Again, I said in the part 1 that this base, people were asking for more stairs, and this map sure added more stairs. Let me tell you, there's a lot more stairs. So here's the room. That's the point. There's a capture thing over there, a hackable thing. Hackable thingamajig. Thing with the thing. But yeah, in general, I don't know where the teleporter room is here. I think the teleporter room is right next to the spawn room. I think this was one of the, if I remember correctly, this was one of the bases that had the teleporter room that was legitimately right next to the spawn room. And it's like, why is this even here? Yeah, it's right next to the spawn room. I question why this teleporter room in particular is even there. It doesn't add in a new avenue of defense. Like, there's no extra place for you to attack from or defend from. There's no way to flank a spawn camper. There's no way to get around them. It doesn't increase the surface area that the defenders have to defend against spawn camping. So it's just not a good teleporter. I would actually put it, if I were putting the teleporter somewhere, I'd actually put the teleporter around here somewhere, or around here, somewhere not obvious, somewhere like that doesn't have, or above it. Above the spawn room, like up here. Somewhere where they can actually defend the spawn room from. Because that's the whole point of the teleporters, is to defend the spawn rooms from spawn campers. It gives you more surface area for the defenders to move out from and prevent spawn camping. This right here, I have issues with conveniently placed rock formations that prevent attackers or defenders from moving. It's just put a wall there or something. So this is the Ikanam Triage Station. It's a very, 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 very generic base. It's got a couple buildings, got a jump pad up to Ikanam. It's not very exciting. It's a very average base. Teleporter room is there, spawn room is there, gives you a lot of good surface area for the defenders. Capture points inside of a building, so it's a very well designed but very, very average base. So, moving on, which base should I tackle next? Let's go to SolTech Gorge. Okay, so we're going to swing down this side of the map, because I swinged along the top, and I like to sweep back and forth. Actually, let's do this one, since I'm here. The West Foothills Airdock. West Foothills Airdock was modified slightly, very, very slightly. It added more cover, and I'm actually going to get out here. They added more cover. They moved the spawn room to be over here. Actually, I believe this is the teleporter room. Yes, that's the teleporter room. So they added a teleporter room there. The spawn room is on the other side here. So now the top of the base is where you spawn in, rather than the bottom of it. Spawn room is right there. The capture point is no longer sitting in the middle of this thing here. It has been moved over there. And they added a whole bunch of more cover. They added more attack paths into the base. They moved the vehicle spawn point so that it is over there. I motioned with my hand, but I realized my webcam isn't on. They added a slight underground feature, very, very slight underground feature, with a big open area here that you can attack into. Park a Sunderer over here. This isn't a very viable spot to park a Sunderer, though, because it's right next to their spawn rooms. So, oh god, do not park a Sunderer here. You would be really, really dumb. I don't know if you actually get a Sunderer in there. I'd have to test that. They added some viable attack paths. I forget where. Again, this is the convenient rock formations that I was talking about. It's pretty much a wall, but it is a convenient rock formation. You don't have to have walls to build things out of walls. But they did add a lot more great Sunderer locations. Like over here, there's a nice little garage there. But unfortunately, it's not... That Sunderer garage is difficult to attack from location, just because there's so much distance you have to cover. There's about 100, 200 meters to cover there. So I would probably... It's a risk versus reward scenario, and I like when they add risk versus reward scenarios for Sunderers. That's an obviously safe place for a Sunderer, but it's a low reward position. But you could probably get a Sunderer up closer, like right there. You could probably park a Sunderer right there, or like right up here, and have better attack opportunities to this base. Moving on. So that's a good base. It's decidedly average, but it's a good base. It's not bad. We got another average base over here. And I'm just going to do a flyby on this one because I want to lower the amount of time that I am spent on this video. But this base is very decidedly average. It's got some really cool decisions made here with this little snaky thing. It is the SolTech charging station. It's a solar plant. The inside of this has a lot of really cool geometry, and I think it'll be a really fun place for you guys to fight. The spawn room is here. The teleporter room is above it, which allows you to get a different angle on the spawn campers, which is a great mechanic. And there is places to park your Sunderers there, and over here. There's a place to park your Sunderer. Right in this, right there. So, very generic base, very average. That's a wall. Okay, moving on. Quality base. Okay, this base I have yet to figure out completely. This is SolTech Gorge. It's a new base. It's right next to the warp gate. I think that this base will be it'll be a common base to fight over because it's not right next to the warp gate. It's not led us directly to the warp gate, but that doesn't mean it'll be very oftenly fought here. It'll be the Camp Connery of Amerish, I feel. I haven't really wrapped my head around this base too well, but it is kind of cool. I thought I saw an underground feature over here. No, it's just what. It has some paths up. It reminds me of the LE Fortress, Forest Pass, with the road that drives underneath here and stuff like that. It's got a lot of really cool foresty area. You can link back and forth on these bridges. But yeah, it's a very cool base. You can park Sunderers over there. It's a nice little water feature. Just spawn room up here. I don't know why this isn't continuing to flow. And this is flowing backwards. So you need to work on your water. My immersion with water. So yeah, it's a very nice base. It feels very cute. Cute is the best way to describe it. Here is the spawn room. The teleporter room is over here. This teleporter room does not give you a different angle to defend from spawn campers from, but it does give you a different angle to push out from, which is roughly the same. It's just not, it's not equivalent. I'm not going to say this is bad, but I'm definitely going to say it's different. My biggest issue with this base, and one thing you probably have seen, is the fact that you could park asunder. Like, there's all this distance from the defenders, and it's very beautiful. Very, very beautiful. But why would you ever fight here, is my question. When you could just park asunder right there and capture the point. Why would you ever fight in this little area? Just park asunder there, capture the point. Defenders wouldn't be able to get to you. You can send some defenders to go try to spawn camp. But in general, you're going to capture this base without any challenge. So that's my only issue. I would actually, instead of the way we have it here, I would flip where the point is with the spawn rooms. Put the point all the way over there, put the spawn rooms up here. That way you have, that way you're forced to have the attackers and the defenders run through that little nice, happy feely, gorgy area. So put your spawn, or put your capture point over there, put your spawn points over here. Please. So, moving on to Kawahtee. This base is unchanged completely. I don't know if they intend to keep it this way, or if they're just going to leave this unchanged. But this is exactly the way it is on live. They removed a base over here, as you can see. The plateau that it used to be was right there, and now it's gone. Kawahtee Amp Station is still the very, very old style, as you can see. They haven't made it Zervin. This base is very similar to the way it was, the Kawahtee Fortress. They added a lifted area right here with a point on top, so they lifted up the point, and they moved this the spawn room so you can actually get outside of the walls. So it's a little different, but still mostly the same. So now we're going to move to my favorite base on the map, and the base that I feel like will be the most interesting base. It's the base I feel that needs the most work, but on the other hand, it is the coolest base ever. And now I'm going to give you an overview of the base. This is Kawahtee South Pass. I'm showing you a mountain. This is the mountain of Kawahtee South Pass. Guess where the base is. I'll give you 5 minutes. If you guessed inside the mountain, you would be correct. Here's the spawn room. The base is inside the mountain. Yes. This is why it's my favorite base. This is a freaking mountain fortress. So, how do we get into this base? I'm going to actually go through here. Now this is a vehicle shield generator. They added this vehicle shield generator since the map was created. I had a huge issue with it because it allowed spawn camping, but that is good that they added this. So, you come in here. They added that too. Okay, this is completely different. I'm going to have to explore this a little bit, but it is completely different than what I saw before. Here is the teleporter room. This path right here is the path that the spawn room, the defenders from the spawn room have to take. Now I'm going to walk over to the spawn room. Okay, they added this. This is new. But I'm going to walk over to the spawn room. And up here is the spawn room, as you see. So the teleporter is just a shortcut to the spawn room. Now originally the teleporter was simply a shortcut to the spawn room, but there seems to be a new path here. I want to see where it goes. This doorway was added right here. This is new. Where does it go? It goes into the base. Yes. Okay. You fixed that. That was an issue for me. So this is a very big open base with a lot of stuff. I like this base a ton. It's very it reminds me of Planetside 1 in the fact that it's all underground. It has these little... It's very different than Planetside 1 though, because it adds entrances like this. Now, some of these entrances are lit up by these lights. Some of them are not. I wish that all of the entrances were well lit, so that way you know where the entrances are just at a glance. This base is incredibly confusing. It doesn't have a very well... It's not easy to know where you're going, and I feel like you need to do some actual touch-ups to the minimap, open up the minimap in Photoshop and change it to better support this base design. But it is very, very different than anything else you have ever played in Planetside 2. And I feel like it'll be a really, really wild experiment to see how it is played. This is going to be a nightmare for anybody not in scat maxes. That is one thing I've noticed. Scat maxes are going to reign supreme to this base, which isn't necessarily a bad thing, but in general, it's just going to be heaven for them. They moved the spawner. Point. Okay, they really, really changed this base since I last explored it. I actually had this base mapped out in my head. It took me about 2 hours to map it out in my head, which was a significant amount of time, and they completely changed it on me. So I'm looking through here like, the point used to be right here, and now it's gone. I don't know where they put it. So as you can see, I'm lost. I don't actually know where they put the point. This is the vehicle room, by the way. Up here. So they added little arrows. They didn't actually have these arrows last time I played in this base. So good on them for adding the arrows. I feel like they need to have different layers. The minimap needs to change based on where you are. So like, there's a lot of levels to this base. A lot of walking around. There's the point. I get lost in this base and won't be able to refresh my scythe. So there's a lot of ways into this base, there's a lot of ways around this base. The defenders have a lot of paths in around it. This base is going to be a ridiculous fight, and I so look forward to it. I cannot wait for this base to be on the live server, and it is coming next week. SOE, I love you for designing a base like this. This is awesome. So that is just a very basic overview of this base. I could show you what this base looks like. Is that my buddy A's? Nope. I could show you what this base looks like more. I'd have to probably dedicate an entire video to it, which I might. I want to do a video on more internal stuff, like inside fighting. So, please don't shoot me. So yeah, that is Kawahtee South Fortress. There are 4 entrances into the base, and it is inside of a mountain. It's cool. Moving on. My favorite base on the map is Kawahtee South Fortress. I very much look forward to that. Next up is Genudine Physics Lab. This is a very, very, very generic base. I'm only going to pass over it. This actually has a different... this one has a good teleporter room because the teleporter room is not on the same... it gives a different angle for the defenders to shoot their spawn campers from. It allows them to get to this building really easily. The point is right there. It's got a very short... This is a very short, very furious fight. It's got some cool overhangs. But that's pretty much it. Moving on to the next base. Cobalt Communications. This base has been changed up quite a significant amount, but it is still pretty much the same base as it was before. The only issue I have with this base is you have to fight through the spawn room in order to get to the point. And any base where you have to fight through the spawn room to get to the point is a bad base in my opinion, unless you attack from this side, in which case you're fine. So, I'm not sure I like this base too much. Also, I don't see a teleporter. Oh, it's on the other side of the wall. Yeah, it's right there. So yeah, teleporter doesn't give you a better angle on spawn campers. In fact, I don't think it helps you with spawn campers at all. That might not be a good teleporter. It's a good teleporter, but it's a bad teleporter design. If you know what I mean. This base, I'm pretty sure everybody has seen it already. This is the Shrouded Skyway. I actually did some timings on this base, and it looks like they changed it a little bit. They did a polish pass. Okay, sweet. I did some timings on this base back when I was testing it. Also, it is point at. Should probably fix that SOE. I did some timings on this base, and it actually takes 1.5 minutes for the defenders to run from the spawn room to the capture point at full sprint. So I think that needs to be tweaked. But other than that, it did get a pass for, looks like infantry cover on the ground. Yeah, I got an infantry cover pass. It used to be the ability, like this entire area used to be completely contestable by vehicles. Now it's not. Just kind of nice. Because you used to be able to sit on the vehicle underneath it and just shoot up, which wasn't ideal. But it's still, I think the timing issue is still here, where it does take 1 minute and 30 seconds for you to run from the spawn room to the capture point, where it takes the defenders 45 seconds at full sprint to run from the spawn room to the capture point. So this base, it's cool, I like it, but it definitely needs to. I think the spawn point needs to be moved closer, or at least for the defenders. The attackers, 45 seconds is relevant, or is okay. 45 seconds, or 1 minute and 30 for the defenders is not full sprint. That Reaver just murdered himself. Next up is the Scarfield Reliquary. I like this base, kinda. I think this base needs a huge change. Again, this is the big open garage areas I talked about in part 1. It's big open garage, as you can see. You can fight inside of it. The capture point for this base is in here. Was it here? Where'd the capture point go? Apparently it's 3,000 meters into the sky. What? So the capture point is, I believe, intended to be in this building here. Because it looks like it would fit in this area with these cool glowy walls and these rocks. I feel like you shouldn't be able to shoot through. How did I walk through these? Okay. Appears they're on backwards. So I feel like you shouldn't be able to. You need like some kind of frame on those glowy things. Another thing I feel like this base needs is actually a shield. And it seems weird to say this base needs a shield, but if I were designing this base and making it better, I would actually put a shield over this entire thing. This entire area from this point to that point. I'd put a shield, and I'd make the defenders the attackers have to blow up a shield generator, probably in that building there or in that big base. Another issue I have with this base is that once the defenders get onto this plateau facility thing here, the attackers, once they get up here, they're going to be very hard for the defenders to shoo off, just because of the location of the spawn room and how little cover there is between the spawn room and here. Secondly, the spawn room teleporter has no additional cover for the spawn room. This base it doesn't seem to have its cover pass, which certain bases have, certain bases don't. This base does not have a cover pass. So it needs more cover. Otherwise, this just be easily spawn camped. Easily spawn camped. Other than that, it's a cool base. I like the overall design of it. Okie dokie, what's next? Cobalt Communications did that. Let's go up to... Let's go up to the Genudine Physics Lab, or Deepcore Geolab, and then we'll make our way. Let's actually stop here. This is a new base. I haven't had a chance to analyze it. It does have a lifted at an underground portion, it looks like. The spawn room is where exactly? I don't know if the spawn rooms have been added. Spawn room is here. It's underground. Okay, I'm not sure I like this spawn room location. So spawn room is here underground, but that means this entire side of the road is a restricted area. It's a pain field. I don't necessarily like that. Because I feel like you're just going to... Like, what's to stop Prowler from sitting here? Literally sitting right here and firing into this area. There's nothing to stop that from happening. I don't like that at all. I'm very much opposed to that, actually. That's awful design. Other than that, we have this big, prop, the big base prop. This appears to be a geolab. They need to fix on they need to fix the regional thing. Oh, this is Heyoka Armory. Okay. So yeah, it's a big prop right here. I don't feel like crystals are something you should store in an armory. I would prefer like guns and stuff. And then here's the underground feature with more buildings. Oh, teleporter room is right there. Okay, I like the teleporter room here. I like the teleporter room, but I do not like the spawn room. I feel like if you switched out the teleporter room and the spawn room, it'd be okay. But the fact that there's a pain field right next to the road, and the fact that a vehicle's a Prowler or Vanguard, not a Mag Rider as much because the Mag Rider doesn't have enough turret depression, or it doesn't have enough lift to shoot down over that. The turret is lower on the body. I feel like that the Mag Rider would have a harder time spawn camping. But Prowlers and Vanguards would have an easy time spawn camping that. So, and that is very, very, very quick for the attackers to get into that location. So I don't really like the spawn room there. I don't like the spawn room there at all. Deepcore Geolab is really cool. It's going to be a lot of fun to fight in because it has a lot of, and I'm going to give you a nice overview of Deepcore Geolab. Now this is a hilltop base done oh so right, and that looks like a road that is unused. This is a hilltop base done oh so very right. It has multiple attack paths, it has sunder garages, it has a bad place for, it has great defense for attackers, because attackers need defense too. When a lot of people say that, oh, the attackers don't need cover attacking a base, that's patently false. You need to have cover attacking a base, otherwise you just get farmed. It's just Quartz Ridge Camp Indoor Excavation all over again. So you have multiple attack paths up, you have a lot of relevant places to go, and the road makes a lot of sense. You can park your Sunderers over here, has these cool bunker things. I'm going to land on one of them. I am not an ace pilot by any means. So it's just a cool base. It's got a lot of these bunkers. I think these are like little World War II bunkers, and I could totally see you setting up AV mana turrets to just cover areas. Basically play World War II. D-Day, Normandy stuff. These bridges are really fun. I mean, it's just a really cool base. It has a lot of really good air cover. I think rocket potters are going to have a hard time doing anything to anybody on this base, simply because of its layout, its general layout. I like this little cover point here. It gives you a lot of really fun places to cover from. This base does need a cover pass because, again, there's not a lot of cover here. This is some general cover. So it definitely needs more stuff. It has a great angles of mobility, great angles for attack. This is a very well thought out and well designed base. So whoever built this one is really good. The only issue I have is the spawn room is really close to the capture point compared to where the defenders or the attackers will be able to get to. So the attackers have to spawn really far away, the defenders spawn really close. That's my only issue. It probably isn't an issue, probably. But it's something that'll come up, I think. Especially with rapid deployments and respawning. Rapid respawn deployments, the defender is favored here for rapid redeployment. It's very strongly favored for this base. Quick max crash out of the spawn room, and you just end it. So it's got a cool switchback. I'm going to fall to my death if I'm not careful. That'll be awkward. Yep, here I go. Nope, I survived. Wall running, it's overpowered. If you don't know how to wall run, it's a light assault. I was actually going to make a video about wall running, but then I got lazy and didn't do it. But wall running is very good in Planetside too. So yeah, this base is really cool. I really like it a lot. I cannot wait to try to take it and try to defend it. It offers a very, very, very variable number of attack paths. I just wish that this area was a little bit more cleaned up because it's very difficult to attack from the Heyoka side of this base. So let's go play at... Should we go to Heyoka next, or should we go to Bastion? Let's go to Heyoka. I don't know if this is fixed or not, but we might be experience a really cool effect. Ah, they fixed it. Okay, so Heyoka Chemical. It used to actually switch to the Hassan nighttime here. Heyoka Chemical Plant is an area with a lot of really murky water. This water kills you. These bridges... Swing over to them. These bridges are new. You have never seen these before unless you were on the test server. These bridges are hackable. There's a hacking terminal inside here. If you notice the little effect, it's an energy bridge. When your team owns the energy bridge, you can drive across it. If your team does not own the energy bridge, you cannot drive across it. You cannot walk across it. You cannot get across it at all. So you are forced to attack this base with these bridges right here and this bridge over here, as well as come in underneath the energy bridges. There's another base there. And underneath the energy bridges, there is also a small infantry attack path. You must cross this attack path, get to the energy bridge terminals, hack them, and then drive your vehicles across. This is cool. This is really, really, really cool. This is different than any other base I've seen. The flow is going to be very interesting, and it is an interesting use. This is a wall-less walled base. This is an Azimir base. It has walls, it has all that stuff, but it does not have walls. It's designed exactly the same way with the same exact theories behind them, just without the walls. And I like it. I like them stretching out and trying new things. Again, this water just kills you, so I'm not going to jump in and show you. But it does. Check my word on it. It kills you. Fun fact, earlier on the Planetside, or on the test server, this used to turn the environment into Hassan Night. Changed all the sounds and everything, too. It was kind of funny. It was an interesting bug. So, the point is over here, inside this base, or inside this building. There is an underground feature to this map. It's right here. It allows you to walk. Apparently that water kills you. That might be a bug, because you're supposed to walk underneath here. Awkward. So apparently that water kills you. So yeah. The second time I've spawned at this base to spawn at it. That might be a bug. I'm gonna have to report that one too. Put it on my list of things to report. Or actually, we can just watch this video. That would be cool. So yeah, it allows you can walk underneath it. That's an extra attack path from the spawn room, and it's just cool. It's really, really, really cool. I am really excited to fight on that base. I'm really excited to see how an area like that doesn't conflict. Like, I'm interested to see how it is designed, or how the interaction between vehicles and infantry gameplay hits there. I think it'll be a very interesting fight. I gotta fly all the way over here. Alright, so that is Heyoka Chemical Lab. As for the spawn room, so the spawn room was in a weird spot in this base, if I remember correctly. I'm trying to find it. Can't right now. Spawn room was like right out. Spawn room was like right here. So here's the spawn room, which is right next to the teleport or the energy bridge control going into Heyoka. So if you're not in Heyoka, or if you don't hold Heyoka, or if you hold Heyoka and you're attacking this base, it'll be very difficult to get across until you start getting a cap on the base and pulling the defenders. And the teleporter is right here. Now, I feel that both of these spawn room and these teleporters will actually be hittable by vehicles, but I think these rocks might help prevent it. I think you're going to get vehicles getting into a weird position and able to fire on the teleporter room or the spawn room, but they won't be able to fire on both, simply because you can't get around this base without going through it. And I think that's a good thing. So, it'll be interesting to see. Heyoka itself is relatively unchanged. I wish they would add more cover around it and take it more like ISA Tech Plant, but it itself is unchanged. There was one more adjacent base to Heyoka, and I don't remember where it is. Right. So, let's go to the core of this. Now, I want to keep these parts down to an hour, so I might have time for one or two more bases if I just fly by them. So let's go to the Bastion. The Bastion has The Bastion hasn't changed very much, but it has the roads around it and the paths you move into this base are completely different. So I'm actually going to talk about this for a second. This road from Heyoka Chemical, or from Deepcore Geolab, I mean, is very, very, very important. It used to stretch on live. It used to stretch this way and go towards Heyoka, but instead it goes up and over this hill here. That is actually going to be a significant change because it makes this wall much, much, much more relevant to the actual fight. Also, they added lifts here, so you can actually get onto the wall as attackers. So this wall is going to be incredibly relevant, and it's going to make the tower a little bit more interesting. Aside from that, the base is actually unchanged. I think it might have a couple changes, like some air cover maybe, but for the most part it's unchanged. Secondly, there's a new road up, and I'm going to follow that road here after I finish this base. So, in general, this base is the same, in general. Let's go over here. I'm going to follow the road up later. I want to get this base real quick. This is the new Auraxicom Network Hub. Now, when I originally analyzed this base, it was completely unfinished, so I haven't had a chance to analyze it yet. But what I saw was a very standard and generic base with a couple of underground features. And I mean, if you look around, you can kind of see the same thing. It's a very generic base. It'll be interesting to fight over. It needs a cover pass. The teleporter room, as you can see here, is actually under the ground. So let's actually go down and look at the underground features here. So here's the base. It's walled. It's walled off. So it's got a very Esamir style flow to it, where you can't get in easily. I feel like they would need to tweak the pain field. I don't know if the pain field works here. Okay, good, it doesn't. If they had a pain field there, I'd be pissed. So yeah, you have the base here, capture points in the double stair room. Up here at the double doors. Back doors lead out here. I'm actually going to put the hack on this base. And ghost it. Aha! What are you going to do about it? 3 people on the test server. Nothing. So yeah, there's a bit of underground feature somewhere. I'm trying to find it. They intentionally put that teleporter room underground? Or was that a mistake? I can't tell. The one thing I don't like about this base is the point is very advantageous for the attackers. Because you can just park your Sunder up right in here or in that water over there. And there is a bug where if you fire the rocket at water and it hits the water, then the splash damage doesn't damage the Sunder. So that's a bug they're going to have to fix there. But this base is very advantageous for the attacker. Okie dokie, it didn't kill me. So, last time I walked into this water, it killed me, so I had to be careful there. So it's got a little bit of water, and here's the... Okay, there's the teleporter. So that teleporter is very uncampable. Well, it is campable because you can just sit here, but that's the spawn room here. So I guess it's not really. I like the spawn room. I like the spawn room teleporter combo. It's a great placement for it. The defenders are going to be surfacing up. So while the point is very attacker favored, the rest of the base is very defender favored. So it'll be very interesting to see how this plays out. Because a max crash could come from any... Like, you could see them maxing up in their spawn room, and you have no idea where they're going to come out at. So I kind of like that. Kind of like that. But yeah, you can park Asunder here, and it's relatively defendable, and you're, like, right next to the point building. So this is a very, 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 very attacker-favored base. Where did my scythe go? So yeah, I like where the teleporter room is though. This is a cool base. A a lot of these bases feature a lot of really interesting ideas, and some of them just don't. And this is one of the bases that features a lot of interesting ideas. I kind of wish they would have put the, well, I guess you can't put the point underground, but it would be cool if like they thought about it or something. It would require moving the teleporter room. I'm not sure that would be easily done. I don't know where else to put it, so I guess we'll just forget I said that. Let's go to the new Rockslide Outpost. New Rockslide Outpost. New Rockslide Outpost. Added a couple of rows over here. The point is inside of this bridge, so you have to. And the spawn room is in its old spot up here. Spawn room is there. Teleporter is. Find the teleporter. No idea where the teleporter is. It's kind of important. I gotta find that. Now, why do I obsess over the teleporters and the spawn rooms? The spawn rooms and the teleporters will tell you more about how the base is going to play out than any other thing on the map. Because where the point is in relation to a teleporter or the spawn room is whether or not the base is attacker favored or defender favored. If you look at bases like Quartz Ridge Camp, where there is... Where is this? Oh. Okay, so this is not relevant for defending the base, but it is relevant for defending your spawn point. That goes up to the ascent. This goes down, I think. Yep, this goes down. So I guess that is kind of relevant. I don't like the fact that it's right next to the ascent jump pad. I think they should switch these jump pads. I think the first jump pad should or have some like clear signage that says, this goes to the ascent. Because this is not going to help you defend. That's an attacker path. I like the idea behind it, though. Yeah, no. They need to flip these jump pads. This jump pad should go down. This jump pad should go up. These pads really need to be flipped. Because if you're spawning there, you're most likely defending rather than attacking. So the decision can be made. The decision to attack is a longer decision. Like, which jump pad you need to take. If you're taking the jump pad down, that is a quick, snappy decision you need to make. And odds are you're going to take the first pad if you're learning the base for the first time. And the first pad's going to take you to the descent, which is not where you want to go, so that you waste a bunch of time going down. So you should flip those jump pads. So as you can see, you can walk over here. This is kind of a nice little area. I think getting down there is going to be difficult, but I think that's going to be the route that attackers take to get up here. It's going to be the attacker attack path. Defenders aren't going to be able to get there very easily. You can easily... Oh, I guess you could by running down here. It's going to take some time, though, to get down there. Yeah. It's going to take a lot of time to get down there. I mean, you can get down there, but it's going to take time. That's not the best thing in the world. So, yeah, this base is kind of cool. It's much more interesting. I don't think it is as good. For a hillside base, it's not as good as... what was it? It's not as good as the Deepcore Geolab. I think the Deepcore Geolab is probably the perfection of a hilltop base. But it is still not a bad base. I'm going to dedicate an entire part of this video to the ascent because it's so important. So we're going to skip the ascent for now. So let's go back and follow this route up on the Bastion. Yeah, because the ascent requires a lot more time and a lot more thought than I want to put into this video, or into a part of this video, and I'm already almost an hour on this part, so I'm going to actually dedicate the entire final part of this video to the ascent. Because it is very different and it requires a lot of interesting thought. So, Lithcorp Central. Lithcorp Central is an interesting base that I haven't had a lot of time to explore, mostly because I didn't really look at it. So, Lithcorp Central is a hilltop base. Clegg got the instructions to make a base here, but don't change the terrain. And he said it was going to be a very interesting design challenge. And congratulations, Clegg, you mastered that design challenge. So, we have the crescent room here. We call these, in test, we call these crescent rooms. So we have a crescent room here. It looks over the entire base. You have a pad down, and basically you have to make your way all the way down. This base, despite how cool it is a very attacker-favored base, simply because the defenders start on top of a hill and they have an awful time shooting down. I really like the staggered column, or the staggered rooftop thingy, but the point position is very, very, very bad. This entire route up features no cover. It is very, well, it features a little bit of cover. Not a lot, though. It is very, 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 very difficult for either side. Whoever has momentum will completely steamroll this, and you can park a Sunder right outside of it, allowing the attackers to get right in. So I feel like this base is very, very attacker favored. Though it is it's really cool to run around inside this. Again, I like bases that make you feel really small, and this base does make you feel really, really small. I also like the animated prop here. I don't think I've ever seen that prop before. It's a cool prop. I'm going to capture this base, despite all of the 5 people on the server. So yeah, this is Lithcorp Central. Of course, it's very difficult to spawn camp this because there's actually no way up, and it's very difficult to fly up as a light assault. The teleporter room is campable, easily campable, but it's a teleporter room, not a spawn room. You can climb up the back here and camp the back side of this spawn room, but again, they can just run forward here. Standing here is going to get you killed, so they can just run through here. I like the spawn room design. It's probably one of the better spawn room designs on the continent, just because of how difficult it is to spawn camp these guys, just because you can like run across here and there's no easy way to get up there. That's a very, very good spawn room position. Next we have Raven's Landing, which is a very similar base to what it was before. It's very, very similar. Some of the buildings got moved, as you can see. I'm just going to do a flyby on this base, and this will be my last base for this part. They added more defense, and it's pretty much the same thing. They added these really cool... Okay, so now they added some additional routes to attack from Sunderers, which are right here. And they added these cool little bridges, infantry bridges, that you can climb up here. Basically, you run up here, you can take the switchback path up, the little goat path. And there's 2 infantry bridges you can take across here. There's also a street you can drive up, and this takes you to the Ascent. The Ascent, Raven's Landing, and Lithcorp Secure are all interlinked. They're a big circle. There is no specialty things about this base. It's a very average base, a bunch of buildings spread out. The point is there. The teleporter room is down here. I don't like where the teleporter room is, but it's passable because you can get up here with the teleporter room. The goat path to the Ascent has been removed. It actually goes towards Lithcorp Secure now, as we follow it up. Actually, I think it does go to the Ascent. No, it goes to Lithcorp Secure. Yeah, it goes to this Lithcorp base. Or the Ascent. And it can go to the Ascent here. So, there's many paths you can take. The goat paths are really cool. All of these bases are... You can't really see it on the lattice right now because the lattice is broken, but all 3 of these bases are intertwined. Somebody is shooting at me. So, that is this area. I'm going to go over the Ascent later. So now you get to see me try to dogfight. Alright, thank you for watching for the part 2. Part 3.